My father adopted his affair partner's daughter.
Wait, what?
I think that's the noble thing to do, right? In 2023, my stepmom, 40-something female, found out my dad, 40-something male, had a 2-year affair. They tried to work it out, but he never broke up with the other woman, so they divorced. To me, 23 female, he said they had some disagreements, but eventually my stepmom told me the real reason. I was livid. By the way, this comes from Sass. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, because we're a bunch of little goofballs, but we only know what we'd do, you goofarono. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
All right.
As OP says, I was so angry at my dad, I couldn't stand the sight of him. I hated him. I felt disgusted, and I genuinely could not look at him even after a year. My stepmom told me he had no plans ever introducing his mistress, 30-something female, to me or to my brothers, 13 male and 16 male. Sometime later, though, I found out he had taken one of my brothers, the 16-year-old, to his mistress's home. Not only did it hurt me to know I would be completely excluded from this, but I was angry all over again because this brother is severely autistic, nonverbal, and has epilepsy. Actually, his first epileptic seizure was triggered because my dad got caught cheating. What an incredibly weird choice to introduce him to the affair partner mistress.
Here's where you live now.
Good Lord.
This is it.
For a long time, our relationship wasn't the best. He could see I was struggling with something, but I was still waiting for him to reach out and be honest with me. It only made me more resentful and angrier the longer he hid these things from me. I never wanted to not have a relationship with my dad because at the end of the day, he is my only dad, and I could see everything good he did for his children, but I almost lost it on him. Ultimately, I decided to forgive him and move on from the hate I felt towards him because it wasn't doing me any good. Facts! Holding hate in your heart can't help.
I've seen it.
You can hate folks, but don't hold the hate in your heart.
Yeah.
Like a bitter, poisonous little seed.
Into the wild so that it could be turned into love.
To be honest, my mental health wasn't good to begin with, but all of the anger and sadness and resentment made it even worse. I had just left a bad relationship when I found out. I tried, but failed, and dropped out of uni, went to work, and the more my mental health worsened, the more I struggled maintaining my friendships and even family relationships. Even my new relationship went south, though not due to my problems, but it still affected my mental health. Eventually, I got fired from my job, and I was jobless with no income for 3 months, leading me to struggle financially for the next 6 months. Around January, I was threatened eviction by my landlord, and I called my dad in desperation. He paid my past due bills and offered me a job in the summer at his company so I wouldn't be in the same situation again. I felt grateful, and actually, for the first time, I just wanted my dad back and let go of all the bad feelings I had. My dad invited me over, and I spent the weekend with him and my brother. He lives kind of far away, and I don't have a car, so he took me home. In the car, he told me that I'd be getting a new sibling soon, and I just froze. When I got home, I cried for hours. I don't think I've cried like that for a long time. I called my mom, 43 female, and told her everything. I did end up bursting out in tears while on the phone, and my mom could hear how heartbroken I was. She ended up sending my dad a long and nasty message. I haven't read it myself, but I know she really laid into him about all the things he had done. Asked him if he thinks I'm stupid. I don't even know his new address. How he's not been honest with me, and what was he thinking about getting a baby? Dad messaged me the next day and asked if we could talk on the phone. I told him when I would be available, and for the rest of the day, I would cry whenever I was alone because I felt like this conversation would completely destroy whatever there was left. The call, to my surprise, went okay. He told me about his battles with mental health, acknowledged wrongdoings, and even asked me what I want to do going forward. I questioned him why he got a baby, and he ended up clearing up that he's not together with his mistress anymore, and her baby is not related to us by blood, but he adopted it. According to him, The ex-mistress wants to move to another city far away and find a man there to be a dad to her baby. I again questioned why, and his response was, well, a baby needs a dad. I wanted to curse him out, but I held my tongue and I expressed my displeasure with it and how badly we had been doing as a dad and daughter. I'm confused now. Mistress wants to move to another place to find a husband to provide for her and her daughter. Meanwhile, OP's dad is adopting her baby. What happens? What happens next? What happens? Is she gonna take custody back once she finds her new man daddy? Like, what is the thought process there?
I'm just all kinds of confused. I'm like trying to put this together.
So you have an affair partner. In this
No, I
story,
don't.
you're a man.
All right, fine.
In this story, you have an affair partner and you...
I love being a man.
Sorry, I just like how you pivoted like, okay, cool.
All right. I look hot as a man.
Not
Not gonna lie, I do.
all right.
You said that with so much confidence, like you've been a man before.
I have been a man in some plays.
A man in
and
sheep's
musicals.
clothing.
A man in sheep's clothing. And guess what? The sheep is hot too. That was so good.
It's haunting me again.
Oh. You left your family and spent time with this mistress, and she has a child, and now she's like, I'm leaving you to go find a new man. And you're like, sick, I'll adopt your child so that it has a father in the interim. Why did you do that, hot sheep man? That's the only reasoning I could come up with either. Is just sheep noises. It makes no sense.
Obviously, he feels some sort of connection to that baby.
He's like, it's my duty, I guess.
Yeah, but does
A
she
baby
not,
needs a father.
Does she not want? Like, does the affair partner not want the child? And it's just like, all right, you can take him.
Maybe she's talking about a new child, a new hypothetical future baby. Who knows? This is your life we're talking about, sheep man Savannah.
Get your lambs together.
Ew, I just licked it.
Ew.
I just licked the mic. Ew.
I told him, my dad, I wanted to spend more time together and talk more. I don't know how, but whatever was going on now couldn't continue. To be honest, I didn't expect it to go anywhere, but he has kept to his word. I asked him to never talk to me about his mistress or the baby, because I only have 2 sisters and that baby is not my family, which he too has respected. And I haven't heard anything from his mouth, but I have heard stuff from his butt.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I shouldn't interrupt, but the butt's talking.
Always interrupt me if you have a good butt joke.
All right, great. Now I know. Button boxes.
Butt box.
Butt box.
Though the conversation went better than I thought and did end up mending what was broken, it still felt like I couldn't express everything I wanted. I wanted to tell him more, but I had barely even processed my thoughts and feelings and what I want, etc. I planned to ask to talk again, but for some reason I never did. Summer came and I started at his company. To my shock, I came to find out that his ex-mistress was basically his right-hand woman, working in the same office room and everything. Oh, they're making new babies in there.
It's all like intertwined, and I don't know what to think about it.
So she's not moving to another state?
She's the right-hand woman. Yeah, that's right. I changed it. You just assume it would be a man, right?
Just because I look like a hot sheep man, you assume it's a man.
Just because I look like a man doesn't mean I'm a man. It may mean I'm a sheep.
So,
Ah!
I did some digging, and she's also a board member at his company.
Blah.
Unbelievable. I felt anxious, but I spotted that on a calendar on the wall that she's on maternity leave for the rest of the year. Thank God. So it is a different baby. The baby he's adopting is not the baby she's leaving to find a different father for. What is going on?
My plane hurts. Blah.
We're so locked in, guys.
Can't. Oh, my water. Okay.
This is one for the ages.
So what's happening? Where's the sheep? Okay, so she said you can have that baby. I'll get another baby, or I have this baby, but this baby is not going to be your baby.
Too much baby going around.
I'm also very confused, chat. I don't know what's going on.
So she's
OP.
a board. She's on the board, but she's not. So she's okay. Screw it. We're going to keep going.
Yeah.
My coworkers obviously don't know the situation, so they thought everything is fine and dandy, and I did eventually get asked about my siblings. When I told my coworker about my siblings, she asked, "What about mistress's baby?" I even asked who before I realized who she was talking about, and told her that no, she's not my family, and I don't think I can say more without it being inappropriate. At a later day, another coworker asked if I had seen the mistress's baby already, and I said no, and I don't ever want to. After that, all the questions stopped. Obviously, they could tell there was something deeper going on. Kinda sucks I have to come to this decision twice, but I was willing to let go of these feelings until the mistress walked into the building about a week ago. I came in for an opening shift and was reading a message left on the work desk when she walked by and asked if I'm OP. I said yes, and then I saw the strollers. Oh, she's gonna ask you to take care of the babies that she's leaving to find a new husband for, who's not your dad? Who's also adopting the 2-year-old who's around already?
What is the story? I need like a graph. I need like some sort of like line plot because
We need a baby ownership graph.
Is there a whiteboard? I would love to make a graph right now because I don't know what's going on. I would love to contribute to this, but what? There's so many different things happening.
My heart dropped. That's what it would sound like. You dropped your heart on the floor. She took out her baby, walked up to me in all smiles, and said, "Do you want to see your sister?" and presented her baby to me. Technically, it would be your half-sister, but that's neither here nor there. To be fair, that baby is adorable, and I feel no hate towards her. I just don't want anything to do with her, and especially with her mother. I just stood there and stared at her without saying a word, and after she left, I went to the bathroom to calm down so I don't have an anxiety attack at work. I wanted to confront her and tell her to never even imply her baby is related to me. But customers started walking in, so I thought it would be inappropriate, so I wrote a note instead. Good instincts, OP.
I wrote the note.
That would be inappropriate if you were like customers around. Don't you ever tell me your child is my sister again or my sibling again. That baby is blameless, but I hate you.
I feel like people would immediately just be like,
You'd be like, I'm going to record this and break it down on a YouTube channel.
too late. We already are doing that.
She managed to walk past me and leave the building before I could give it to her. What is she, a Heisman winner? And ended up just texting my dad to tell her what I wanted to tell her. He promised he would. Unfortunately for me, all the old wounds were ripped open. I cried for the whole weekend after and felt extremely down for half of the next week. My lovely boyfriend was there as my support, but even he felt helpless with how heartbroken I was. I think we need to talk to a professional about these feelings. I think everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What, do I have to spell it out for you?
As long as we're all in agreement. Ever since I've been thinking about it, and I kind of came to the conclusion that I hadn't forgiven my dad despite all my effort, and I figured out I could never forgive my dad fully as long as he's connected to that baby. I wanted to tell him to either choose the ex-mistress and her baby or me, but after some research, the law in my country doesn't allow you to give up your parenthood, so it would have been a losing battle from the start. I have talked about this with a few friends and my mom, and while I feel better now, I know myself, and I know this same thing will break me in the future. Man, this is your Ivan Drago, for real.
Oh, it's the Russian.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
That's what he says. He's played by Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph
Lundgren. Stop it. Don't make fun of him.
I thought his name was Ivan.
I am selfish of my dad, and I'm allowed to be. He's my dad. Well, he's that baby's dad, too, apparently. I know even if I ask, he can't undo the adoption, but I remembered she didn't even want my dad to act as a dad to the baby, and did in fact find a man in her new city to be a dad to the baby. What are we talking about? Why is your dad taking care of these babies? Shouldn't you want your dad to take care of your babies?
I had too many thoughts that they just went, no.
You had so many thoughts, it just came out as,
Yeah, it was more of just exasperation.
I want to write down everything I've ever wanted to tell my dad from the past 4 years so he'd know how deeply I've been struggling without his knowledge, how his actions have affected me and my life. I often process strong negative feelings towards people by writing them a message I never send, and his ex-mistress has one that I want to also include and show my dad so he can read the hurt I felt when I felt it the strongest, and to finally tell him I don't want him to have any type of father-daughter relationship with the baby. So would I be the a-hole if I told my dad if he ever has a father-daughter relationship with his ex-mistress's baby, he can say goodbye to me because I would cut him out of my life? I'm so sorry for how long this is. I tried to make it shorter and left some stuff out, but nothing that would be important to the story. Thank you. And there is an update. I think you could tell your dad, hey, I wouldn't even just, what the hell's going on, Dad? She's leaving to find a new dad for her children. So why are you adopting the baby? She wants to make another man the dad and not you. So what are we doing?
Does he just feel like bad for this child and is like, I'll take this child? But is it like also it could be out of like spite to be like, I'm going to make you grow up and be the best thing ever because your mama couldn't or something? I'm confused on what theories are going through everyone's heads.
His rationale is every baby needs a dad. Babies need dads.
And that's his baby.
No.
What?
It's, yeah, the new baby. I think the new babies are his baby, but there's already another baby, I think.
How many babies?
Or maybe, I don't even freaking, let's update. Hello again. I appreciate all the comments. I was very distraught over what happened, and I wasn't thinking clearly about a lot of things. While I don't think I would be the a-hole, I realized with your help, regardless, giving ultimatums is not a productive way, and it won't, in the long term, help with anything. I did come here for advice. I'd be a fool not to follow it. I took time to feel better and not think about this. I wanted to have a clear mind to confront this issue and write down everything so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to tell my dad. And if it got too hard to speak, I could let him read it. In the meantime, I got engaged, OMG, and traveled around England with my now fiance. When I came back home, I sat down and thought about everything for the past 4 years and wrote down a list of what I wanted to tell my dad, and I was going to write it down properly. A few days ago, I was on my way to work and I found myself crying. Then and there, I decided this was enough and sent a message to my dad and asked him if we could talk one day. And he said yes, and even suggested days he's available. Yesterday, while I was cooking, I forgot to open the window and the fire alarm started blaring. I live in a house built in the 70s, so I don't have any ventilation over my stove. I get easily startled over loud noise, so much so that it gives me anxiety attacks. So once I sorted the fire alarm out, I sat on the kitchen floor and had one. Are we getting treatment for that?
I like how she kind of planned it. She's like, all right, I know this is going to happen, so let's just like get it all done. And then afterwards, I could just release.
Yeah, she's like, I got to figure out this noise and then cry about it on the floor. But I got to make the noise go away before I cry about it on the floor.
I would be more concerned if she just rolled up on the floor and was like, while all the sound's going.
I pulled out my phone and called my dad and told him in tears, I don't think I can wait till he comes over. So we had the conversation on the phone right then and there. I told him everything, how I got bullied 4 years ago and mistreated by my ex-partner, how tired and depressed it has all left me, and how him cheating on my stepmom upset me. My dad listened and talked to me calmly and said he was so sorry that I was going through all this mental torment and that he wished I had said something earlier so he could have been there as my support. We talked about his affair partner as well. I told him I don't understand how she thought it's okay to talk to me and call her baby my sister as if I didn't know what she's like. I also confessed to my dad the only reason why I don't hate him right now is because he's my dad and I love him. But that woman is a complete stranger to me. And in my eyes, she's all sorts of evil. Even if it's not the reality. I made it clear if her baby, when she's older, wants a relationship with me or even talk to me, she can do it, but I want nothing to do with her mother. By the way, you and your mother and your baby, your whole family and your affair partners
I was going to say, and your affair partner.
can all listen to full episodes with stories just like this one together as a unit. Over on your favorite podcasting platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you use to listen to podcasts, search OK Storytime, and you can listen to 3 months non-stop stories. And we do have a little bit more story here.
Don't even ask me what I think because I don't even know what I think. I don't even know what to think. What's the right thing to do?
You know, you want to prioritize your own peace, right? That's what we should all do. Yeah, and you don't have to be friends with your dad's ex-affair partner. even though he's adopting their children, which is a crazy move to me. But hey, c'est la vie. Let's finish this story.
Please.
I also told him that I always felt like an afterthought, not only to him, but also to my mom, because I'm much older than my other siblings, at least by 6 years. Additionally, because one of my brothers is severely autistic. I always thought I was at least a little special because I was his only daughter, but now I'm not even that anymore. He immediately said that I am his only daughter, and I've always been so special to him. He said that he's sorry he made me feel that way, but it has never been his intention, and wants to spend more time with me or talk to me more. All in all, it felt really good to get all these feelings and thoughts off my chest, and I'm glad I came here for advice, because I feel like my relationship with my dad can be and will be fixed, or at least get better. I believe so too. Thank you everyone for getting my head straight, and that is the end of that story. I guess we left it on a positive note. If you want a good relationship with your dad, you can choose to have one in the face of all of this wild and tumultuous emotion.
I think I feel bad for OP because they were just suffering so long, like just not saying anything, just like really having all of these like, panic attacks or anxiety attacks, whatever. It stinks that you had to suffer in silence for so long, OP. But now that you got it off your chest, I feel like this is like the opening to like, another beginning. I think it could work out.
But you know what works out? That's the end of that story.
That you can listen to full episodes just like that.
That's the end of that story. We've got another one to read.
My partner is furious because I wasn't helpful when my stepdaughter locked herself out.
Learn how to do a B&E, all right?
I, female 39, am in a relationship with my partner, male 49, John. We have been together about 8 to 9 years. John has a daughter from a previous relationship, Emily, who is an adult turning 30 soon. I have a good relationship with her. I couldn't possibly call myself her stepmother, as she's always been an adult when I've known her. By the way, this comes from Hot Plankton 1619, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. I have always thought family is important, and have always supported and given John space to have a relationship with his children. We have a friendly relationship with Emily, and I've always been very fond of her. John and I have 3 children together. Male 1, male 3, and male 6.
No, those are their names.
Martin,
M1,
M1,
M3,
M3,
and
and M6. I can be socially awkward and sometimes find people hard to read. I have ADHD and a flavor of autism, and this situation is eating me alive.
What flavor is it? Grape flavored? Grape
No, it's
flavored
it's-
autism?
It's fake banana flavored.
Ooh, I love that fake banana autism.
A wee while ago, I was at home with my 2 youngest, both of whom were ill with a virus. My baby was sleeping upstairs, and male 3 was on the couch with me, nursing a 40 degrees Celsius fever.
Man, I don't know what that is in American, but I feel like it's like 128 degrees.
Nice, it's just 100.
127 hours.
Just 100. I had given him Calpol, and the fever was hardly budging, so I was a bit on edge. I tried calling John because I was concerned, but he was not picking up. My phone rang. It was Michael, Emily's partner.
And Emily is 30 in this story.
Wait a minute.
Emily is a full-grown 30-year-old woman.
Double checking. She's an adult turning 30.
Not gonna lie, once you turn like 18, the issue of I'm locked out of a place is fully your responsibility now. That's already that is it. Also, apparently that's 104 degrees, which is that's a nasty little fever.
Yeah, 100, 104, that's the same thing.
That is a go-to doctor fever. To be clear, that is not the same thing.
Yeah, 100,
if you have 104 degree fever, that is that's
take.
serious.
That's this. They're all the same after the hundreds. He proceeded to tell me Emily had locked herself out of her flats with her pets. Then he said I or John needed to come open the door as we have a spare key. Why wouldn't they come to OP then?
Yeah, did you throw your car keys into your flat and then no, again, this is on you.
That's full on you.
This is on you. Also, you don't have a landlord who could help with that, maybe? I don't know.
I will admit I was a little annoyed that it came out as a demand. My brain shuts down in that kind of situation. I wasn't in problem-solving mode. I felt like I wasn't asked for help or given any other option than to up and leave. I explained my situation. The baby was asleep, and male 3 had such a high fever I couldn't drive there, as it's a 30-minute drive. He hung up. I tried to call John 5 or 6 times to no avail. Over an hour later, I got a call that someone was picking up the key. I thought, brilliant, problem solved.
There we go.
Yeah, if they had not complained for an hour, they could have had the key and already been back.
Bingo.
Later, John told me both Michael and Emily were upset with me. I didn't exactly know what was said. I asked why they were upset. John explained that my lack of empathy for the situation upset them.
So we've got baby with 104-degree fever and
also just
full-grown
baby.
adult who locked themselves out of their apartment, and it's an entirely fixable solution.
We've got baby and baby with we got 2 babies.
Feverish baby
Fever baby.
versus incompetent adult.
OP has 2 babies she's looking after, and they said, hey, can you drive our round trip to help us get into our house? No. They were upset I didn't call Emily to see how she was or that I wasn't able to help.
How to see how you were? You locked yourself out of your apartment. You're 30.
Figure it out. In hindsight, I see I could have done more, like send the key in an Uber or something. Well, they could have asked. They could have said, oh, yeah, okay, understood. Do you think you could send an Uber over with the key?
Literally anything you could have done short of driving the key over yourself is something they could have done.
Yeah. And also, if you had done that, I doubt they would have paid you back for that.
Yeah.
But my brain just shut down at the come here now demand because I physically couldn't. I also couldn't reach John. I see where I made mistakes and I could have done more. I will take accountability for that. I tried to call Emily later that night to talk, but she didn't answer. I sent an apology message to both Michael and Emily and apologized for letting them down. I also sent chocolates and animal treats to their house. No reply or even acknowledgement. Why, honestly, I think you're going too far. I think you're going way above and beyond what you needed to do, which was nothing.
Yeah.
You even sent treats and they didn't say thank you.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, have you guys locked yourself out of the house before?
Honestly,
Yes.
no.
Yes, I have.
I have too. And guess how you solve it?
Yeah.
You break into your own house.
That, or you just try and figure it out yourself.
Yeah. I've never, fortunately, since I've lived on my own, had a key. I've always had keypads.
Yeah, that solves it.
Yeah. So I've never really, unless I'm at my parents' house, but usually they have.
Do you know how many times
That's not an issue.
I had to I didn't have a spare key or my parents weren't even nearby and I had to crawl through like a doggy door.
Oh, I've done that before.
One, I could crawl through the doggy door. That's not great, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else would try. But yeah.
Yeah. When I was in first grade, my mom pulled me out of class and because she had locked herself out of the house. And so she had me crawl through the doggy door to let her in. So I literally
always thought those need
locks.
They I think they make some now where it's like you put something on the collar of the dog and it only unlocks once the dog is close by.
Well, to be fair, only like a tiny little first grader is able to fit through those doors.
Or a very small criminal.
That's true.
Like me.
Common one. The heck is wrong with them? You're innocent. OP says they're not talking to me. I'm going crazy thinking I've done something drastic. Reply, let me turn it around. They accused you of lacking empathy and not doing enough while you were caring for 2 sick kids. But where was their empathy? No one asked you how the kids were or acknowledged you had your hands full. Yeah, where was their OMG, how is your son with 104 fever?
Yeah, zero. Literally, there's not even a need for discussion here. These people are delusional.
The boyfriend just demanded a key and hung up when he heard your very valid reason for not going. Any normal person would have asked, oh, of course you shouldn't drag 2 kids out when they have a high fever. Can we send someone over to pick up the key? They haven't asked how the kids are, but expect calls to hear how she's dealing with this big emergency. They had options if it was a huge emergency. A locksmith. Send a friend over to pick it up. They're adults. They should be more than capable to figure this out on their own. They're just mad you didn't jump through hoops to please them. If your husband says anything, stand firm that you had 2 sick kids and you were alone. And there is an update, but yeah, the thing is that OP's already kind of been pushed to apologize.
Yeah, what's up with your husband?
Yeah, which is crazy that your husband was like, yeah, I know you had a sick child and our other kid, but you should have dropped all of them for my daughter.
If this happened to me, I would genuinely crash out. I'd be like, 1, already my hands are full, but 2, that's not even my issue.
Yeah.
That sounds like an issue, not an me. Block. Or mute them. I'm going to go take care of the kids. Figure it out on your own. You are adults.
Yeah, it seems like OP wasn't even rude.
No.
Just, she said, oh, well, my brain went off. I didn't know what to say. You didn't say anything unreasonable. You literally just said, I'm so sorry, I can't, because I'm taking care of 2 kids, one of which is sick.
Yeah.
They demanded.
If they said that, I'm like, all right, first, don't point the finger at me. You guys got locked out yourself. If you need help, come to me and get the key. I'm not coming to you.
I mean, the whole vibe is like, it's like you left them at like after school, like an after school club, and you forgot to pick them up until 8, and you're like damaging them or something.
But they're
it's like they're adults. What are we talking about? By the way, one of your other kids is ill severely.
Ew. But there is an update. I want to start by giving my absolute heartfelt thank you to each and every single person who has taken the time to give me a comment. You have made me feel seen, heard, validated, and it gives me a lot to think about and a lot of confidence. I'm thankful. Also, the world is full of really wonderful people. So many of you asked how the little ones are, and they have recovered, thankfully. Back to their healthy shenanigans. First, to clear a few things that were not clear, John was in the skate park with our oldest son whilst this happened. It is not unusual for him to be very bad at answering his phone, and they were in the sugar bowl doing tricks. It is extremely unfortunate he never saw or heard the calls. But when he noticed, he rushed home. He admits this would have been avoided had he answered.
It would have been avoided if your daughter was an incompetent loser.
Yeah.
Sorry, that might be a little too far, but
I don't know.
maybe
It's not
this
a
is the
incompetent loser.
boyfriend.
It's just the fact that she expects too much. I don't even think
the only
it's
person that was
incompetency. I
talked
think
to was the
it's-
boyfriend.
Yeah.
So it might just be the boyfriend being like, no,
I think it's entitlement.
They need to be the ones who care about us and you, and they only care about these freaking stupid little babies being sick.
You are entitled to listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Yeah,
There is a little bit left to this story. Any thoughts?
This needs to be a talk with your husband about like, get your daughter under control. Figure out if it was like, where's this vibe coming from? Is it coming from the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Honestly, like who's the vibe of I'm 30 and locked out? And I just want to say it was kind of unacceptable the way that you didn't reach out and make sure I was personally okay while you were dealing with your sick, feverish children.
You can't win. I think that your husband needs to deal with this. And maybe he can be like, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't get to my phone. I would have helped. My wife couldn't do it. She was taking care of our kids. And also, Lucy P., I feel like we've gotten told that it was one way and then the other. I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I just don't know.
How do you say it? You say whilst, right?
I said whilst in this because we were told that it was whilst.
Yeah, I think that I always say whilst.
Yeah.
Is it whilst?
Whilst.
Wait, do it again. Like, say it right now.
Whilst.
Whilst.
There's a little bit left to this story. I spoke to John today, and he expressed he was unhappy how the whole thing folded. He is keeping a small distance to his daughter at the moment to let everyone cool down in the hopes that a bit of time will clear their heads, Emily and Michael, and hopefully could talk it out. He absolutely agrees I could not have gone anywhere and did the right thing. He did say he can see Michael using me as a decoy to divert Emily's anger of the situation to me and that it's unfair. He's being supportive of me, and he is a loving and wonderful father to all his children. I will update again if and when this is hopefully resolved. I will move forward and will move in confidence, knowing I have done what I could do to mitigate and repair any negative feelings. And if that is shut down by Emily and Michael, it's up to them. Thank you for everything. And that is the end of that story, and we've got another one. All right, are we ready for this next story?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother refused to attend my wedding over $8,000.
That's a lot of money.
Trigger warning for abuse. So my story requires a bit of context. My mother, 48, is physically disabled. She has steadily been getting worse over the last few years. She uses a wheelchair, a walker on her good days, and can't stay awake or even sit up for more than a few hours out of the day. She lives with my grandparents and my younger sister, Ava, 13. I have 2 other siblings, Joe and Riley. I am 24. Joe is 27. Riley is 21. By the way, this comes from user Golly It's Gummy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit where this story was submitted. And we are here to give you good advice, goofly, but we don't have all the answers. You only know what we do. So tell us what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my mother had a raging drinking problem for a good part of my childhood and teenage years, leaving me to care for and raise my siblings. It was not good. On to the story. A few years ago, my car broke down and became unusable. I live in a bigger city and needed a car. I called my mom sobbing because I certainly don't have the money to even put anything down for a new car. She offered me her car to borrow. She was unable to drive due to her disability, and the car had just been sitting at my grandparents' farm gathering dust. I gratefully accepted, and my cousin dropped the car off a week later along with the title. I switched everything over to be in my name because she told me to do so. Months later, she asked if we could talk about the car. I asked her to call me. Over the phone, she stated that I needed to pay $8,000 for the car and that the money would go to Ava's college fund. I said, okay, and we ended the conversation there. My fiance at the time, Dylan, 26, did some research on the vehicle through Kelley Blue Book. Apparently, this 2012 Chevy Impala was worth way less, about $5,000 if the vehicle was in good condition.
Was it though?
But did it have 20-inch rims?
But was it driven by
I don't know.
two brothers who fight supernatural entities?
I guess you would call that Chevy Impala a tame Impala.
Oh,
Is that even the right
Guys,
car that they
we're all
drove?
professionals.
Is that even the right car that they drove in the show? I don't know.
I don't freaking know, man. I haven't seen a single episode of Supernatural.
I've only seen the first season.
I just know they got that one guy in there.
Yeah.
With the hair. You kind of look like both of them combined.
I do have the one other guy's
Soldier
hair.
Boy.
Yeah, you Soldier Boy.
We're professional comedians. I messaged my mom back and asked if we could negotiate to this price instead. Honestly, I didn't want to have to pay for it at all. The car was in my name. There was no agreement that I would pay for it when she had dropped it off, and I was initially only borrowing it while I saved for one of my own. My mother blew up.
Put her back together.
Quick, grab the super glue.
Duct tape.
She began calling me names, telling me she was disgusted because I knew this money would be going to Ava. She said she was probably going to be gone before Ava graduated high school and needed this money, that she was the only one who was going to be hurt by my actions. She called me a manipulative thief, someone who only took advantage of her and her resources.
She could have just said no.
I mean, you asked her to borrow the car
Yeah.
so you could save money for another one.
Yeah, and then she said,
And then
pay me
give it
freaking
back.
$8,000. And you said, no. And she said,
It feels like the solution to this is I'm going to save up money and buy my own car. And then once I'm done, we can sell the Impala.
yeah.
And all of the money from the sale of the car, no one is going to use anymore unless we want to give it to Ava, will go towards her college fund.
It just seems pretty ridiculous that this was her reaction when she literally could have just said, no, I can't give it to you for free.
But that wasn't the deal.
No.
She said I only wanted to be angry with her and that she doesn't need me to like her or be in her life.
Damn.
After this, I went very low contact with her and only messaged to talk about Ava. On to the wedding drama, I texted Joe and asked for his address to send him an invite since he lived states away. I also asked him if he would do me the honor of walking me down the aisle since my father had passed away a few years prior. Joe took days to respond, and when he did, I felt broken. Joe said that he loved me but would not be coming to the wedding. He had talked to my mom and she told him that she was not invited to the wedding, which is a lie because she was, and he didn't have the heart to go if my mom wasn't invited. I don't think we got Joe earlier, but I assume Joe is like a step parent.
I thought Joe was one of the, I don't know.
I think I thought it was John and Riley. Was it
I thought it was Joe and Riley. Yeah, I think it's Joe and Riley.
It is Joe.
Yeah.
My bad. I just assumed that they were using our names. Joe is her brother, 27. I told him I was hurt and asked him to hear me out and get the whole story before making any decisions, but he was firm in his stance and did not attend my wedding. Riley, my sister and maid of honor, was acting suspicious. I asked her if she was planning on coming to the wedding still. She said she didn't think she would be able to make it.
What?
Okay.
Your maid of honor just said, ooh, I don't think I'm going to be able to make that. And I would say, can you think a little bit harder? What do you mean?
I asked her why, and she said she had just found out she was pregnant. I don't entirely understand why this meant she couldn't attend my wedding, which was a month out at this point.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. She just found out she was pregnant and she can't
She sounds like a
attend
great...
your wedding?
I could totally use this as the excuse.
Yeah.
Who's gonna blame the pregnant lady?
Yeah, she's like, I've found the loophole. What are you going to do about it?
But I accepted without arguing and promoted my best friend from bridesmaid to maid of honor instead, which worked out for the best. My wedding was beautiful. Everything looked perfect, and I was so excited to finally be married to Dylan, who remained my biggest supporter through all of this. Ava was the only sibling that came, and my grandparents, along with a few aunts and uncles, were the only family I had. Out of the 75 people there, I only had maybe 6 come for me, but I didn't care. I had my husband, my best friend, and my new family that loved me deeply. My family ended up leaving right after dinner. My grandparents had to get back to my mom, which
This was at your
fair,
wedding?
is fair, I guess, because she's, chronically ill with, it
Yeah.
seems like a really, really hard issues. So
I feel like only your
and then
grandparents
that's their
are,
daughter. So
are valid, though.
that is, yeah. If they're caretakers, that makes sense.
Only your grandparents, though. Everyone else to leave right after the dinner?
Well, that's already a third of everyone who was there for her,
Yeah.
right? Ava had to go with them. There's the third one. And the rest of the family didn't really know anyone else there. And there's the rest of the 3. A month later, my mom messaged me again. She sent a huge wall of text berating me about my wedding. She had numbered points. And I won't copy the whole thing since it's way too long, but it was basically that she didn't like my new mother-in-law. She was hurt that I didn't invite my family to the bachelorette party.
So that's not really how bachelorette parties work, actually.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Family, unless you're part of the bridal party, you're not supposed to be at the bachelorette party. Bachelorette 101.
That's the whole point. None of my family knew about the reception or thought they weren't invited. It was on the invitation they received, by the way.
I was about to say that. I'm like, there's no way that they didn't know what they were invited to.
Yeah, they couldn't read.
Yeah, they couldn't read, and therefore that's your fault.
She didn't believe that I had a memorial for my father. I had a framed photo of him in the very front row of seats. She said I didn't get my grandma flowers, I didn't get pictures with my grandparents, and she claimed I severely damaged my relationship with my family because of all of this. I was dumbfounded. I had a huge panic attack at work over the idea of having hurt my grandparents and was shattered emotionally for days. Eventually, I responded back, giving my explanations, and explained my hurt that she nor a majority of my siblings showed up. She excused my explanation, saying my grandparents must not have told her the whole story, and she didn't come because all she does is ruin my life, and because we had that fight over the car.
Yes, of course. We fought over a car, and now I have to miss the biggest day of your life.
That, and I'm not. I don't know. It really makes me question her illness.
I don't know. I think that she probably utilizes that illness to her advantage the same way that her daughter said, "Oh, I'm pregnant. I can't come to the wedding. I'm pregnant."
No, it's just She certainly leverages it. I ignored this and scheduled therapy because I was at a very low point. Good for you, OP. She messaged me again just a few days ago saying that I needed to pay for the car. She would accept $5,000, and if I didn't pay, I needed to bring the car back. By the way, you can bring yourself over to the full episodes with stories just like this on your podcast platform of choice, be it iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you got to do is search OK Storytime. You got 3 months worth of stories to listen to. That's 3 months, 24 hours times 90. That's a whole lot.
Sure is.
There's a little bit more story here.
So 5,000, was that what OP wanted originally?
Well, that's like the value. That's
Yeah.
the blue book value of the car.
Okay, so first of all, Mom wanted you to charge you more than the value of the car. And now, after not going to your wedding, she's finally been talked down to the value. I don't know. Would, I think, personally, destroy that relationship forever for me. If this person missed my wedding and then was like, okay, well, I'll do what you asked before.
Yeah, missed the wedding because of a spat.
Yeah.
And also, I don't like your mother-in-law.
And also your mother-in-law, the worst.
Couldn't put that aside for one day to watch me get married. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
You could have even left early.
Well, the crux
Like
of
everyone else.
the crux of all of this is that the whole agreement was for you to just borrow the car so that you could then have a down payment to use on your own car. And then, I mean, after that happens, you can sell the car and use that for Ava's college fund, because that was the framing. Is it's like, oh well, you're so bad because this is supposed to be for your sister's college fund, but it's like that's not my responsibility. That's yours.
Yours, yeah. You should be paying that. Should have been saving up money.
Go to
Yeah.
trade school.
Come
Become an
on.
electrician. Be a millionaire.
Just do it.
I guess I'm just not sure what to do. That Chevy ended up having transmission issues and would just stop in the middle of the road while I was driving. That's horrifying. I couldn't afford the thousands in repairs, especially since I just put new tires on it. Dylan advised me to get a new vehicle so I could still go to work. He had been suggesting that I get a new car for a while now because I felt guilty and disgusting every time I drove the thing. But now that it was having issues, I actually had an excuse, so I traded it in for a used car. What do I do? Should I tell my mom I can't pay for a car I don't have? Should I pay the thousands for the car anyway? I thought about offering to buy Ava a car instead in the future when she can actually drive, so that way she would have a better vehicle than the Chevy if I had brought it back, and a car worth more than $5,000 that she could pick out herself, while I could continue to build my credit as I pay it off. I wanted to consult my husband and my therapist before offering. I'm just not sure what the best route is to take. Any suggestions would be highly appreciated. Thank you to anyone who took the time to read this. I hope everyone has a great day. And that's the end of that story.
Opie's one of us.
Yeah, I would say that you could probably go to your mom and be like, look, the car thing's not going to work. For one, I've already traded it in for another car, and it had transmission issues anyway. So whatever it was worth less. When it comes to Ava and like a college fund, let's figure out something that makes sense. I would love to be able to contribute to my little sister's education.
Yeah.
But I can't give you a lump sum of $8,000 right now. So let's figure out how to make that make sense.
Yeah, there's got to be another option here.
Tell Ava, hey, you know how much a car costs? $5,000. Get yourself some summer jobs and start saving up so that when you turn 16, you can afford a car.
Mm-hmm.
Bing, bang, boom. You teach her a life skill.
I mean, she's not even 16 yet.
She's 13.
She doesn't need a car. She's fine.
Just, I don't know. It sounds like your mother just really wanted to be upset about something.
I mean, the fact that she didn't show up to your wedding, yeah, that's pretty clear. But is that the end of that story?
That is the end of that. The
Perfect.
story, ori. And we've got some siggity, giggity,
Comments.
biggity, liggity comments.
And we've got some comments from the episode. My ex-boyfriend cheated with his sister. And this was posted October 17th, 2025. TLDR says OP dated a guy for 3 years and thought he was just cheating with random girls. Months after dumping him, OP saw a leaked video online and realized he was actually sleeping with his own sister. Their whole town already knew, his socials got taken down, and the rumors exploded fast. OP is now stuck deciding whether to stay out of it or expose more. While finding out his whole family acted super creepy the entire relationship, this story gets darker the more you learn. And if you're curious to learn the full story, you can go watch the full video.
Insert banjo noises.
That was terrible.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That one was a... we all went,
Oh, Lord.
But we do have some comments here who probably would agree with us.
I would freaking hope so.
Yeah, I think we all like, nah, just try and mentally...
Wipe
Throw
that.
him in
Yeah.
the pit.
Pit.
Throw them
Pit.
both in separate pits.
Separate pits.
But we do have some comments here. Comment number 1 from Ben Assay, 8279 says, Dude saw Game of Thrones, saw Jaime and Cersei Lannister and said, that's what I want.
That
No.
actually seems like a really good idea.
You shouldn't want that. Even though that guy, Nicholas Coster-Waldau, has really nice hair. He's got great hair. But
He
you
had a
shouldn't
really good
bang
redemption,
your
at
sister
least
over
until
it.
season 5. I don't know what happens after.
Yeah, it's okay. You leave it at that. You leave it to assumption. Comment number 2 by Natasha Murphy, 9736 says, I don't hold my brother's hand as an adult. I just don't like that segue. But he has grabbed my hand when we were dealing with our mom's passing and hugged. But this was in solidarity in our grief, but never just walking out in public. But if I dated a guy that did this, I'd be so grossed out. I wouldn't want anyone to know that I made such a horrible mistake of dating this creepy, gross guy.
I mean, to be fair, you can hold someone's hand in public and it's not gross. You're related to you.
Yeah.
Y'all came out of the same hoo-ha.
I don't know. I think there is usually a pretty clear difference.
And Natasha goes on, do you think this whole family sleeps with each other?
I hope not. I hope we don't have any Willy Wonka type action in here.
Yeah, and OP said the dad was creepy. His mom wanted to sleep on son's side of the bed or with the son. We know their kids sleep together. I don't want to continue this.
Anyway.
On that, that's gross. We have a couple more comments.
We've got some more.
Faith Walk says, that first story, I thought the ex was lying about it being his sister. Sheesh.
Sheesh.
And comment number 4 by No Need 100 B7Z says, I would have said this to the police and made an anonymous report, and I'm kind of worried about the mindsets of anyone who wouldn't. This is illegal in most countries for an extremely valid reason. Staying silent in the face of something that's clearly effed up and wrong just because it's too much effort or not my problem, that could never be me. Disgusting mindset. Disgusting.
I think
That
in this
commenter was a hall
situation,
monitor for sure.
yeah, I don't know. I think
What, you guys never broke the law before? You guys never bent the rules?
I think this situation is a little tricky for OP because apparently everyone in the town knew.
I remember that someone sent her the video.
Yeah,
That was the cherry on top.
Someone
Yeah.
sent OP the video and she was like,
I think this
look
yeah.
closely.
I think she did end up actually reporting it. Maybe I don't remember, but I think the issue with that she was asking about was, do I tell his family? And everyone was like, well, they probably already know.
I don't even want to get mixed up with that. I wouldn't want to get mixed up with any of that.
Yeah.
Knowing is already half the battle, and I want to lose that war. But that is the end of the comments.
And the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.
Hey, I know we're all very busy, but I just want to let you know we have more bonus stories you can listen to, so you might want to stay tuned for the next one.
My fiance cheated during her bachelorette party. I'm planning to leave.
Get on out of there.
Don't know how to explain all of this. Basically, I was snooping around last night when I saw her phone light up. What do you mean you were snooping around? It was a message from her friends about the party. I stayed up like one of those stalkers you see on TV, and I've been checking the computer Facebook messages with her friends and found out she cheated during her bachelorette party.
Oh no.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Husband 332, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, by cheating, I don't mean getting a striptease or something, which I would be okay with. I understand it's a bachelorette party, but she actually gave a spicy dancer a sloppy toppy and ended up going home with another guy that night. She has this
Hey.
other guy added on Facebook, but the chat merely consists of a had a good time and it was nice to meet you convo, which dates back to the bachelorette party. I have, however, read the messages between her and her friends. They have a small group, and I found out what she'd done there. It all seems as if it was a one-time thing that happened then, but I'm an effing mess. I haven't slept all night, and she's headed for work in an hour or so. When she wakes up, it's almost 6 a.m. here. I don't know what the F to do. We are supposedly getting married in 3 weeks. I don't think you are, buddy.
Okay, so they're not married.
They're not. No, this is his fiance.
Fiance. Thank God that this is your fiance.
Yeah, you can backtrack. You got time. You got 3 weeks.
Wow.
I'm thinking of simply packing all my bags after she goes to work and just leaving the flat. It's her family's flat anyway. We were planning on buying an effing house, having kids, growing old. I feel like I want to throw all of that out the window. I am sitting here smelling like booze, feeling wasted and depressed. I don't know why, but I'm more of an angry depressed than sad depressed. I haven't cried since I found out about all this. Should I confront her? Should I just get out? Should I hear her side of the story? Honestly, I just want to go and stomp her effing face right now, but I don't want to do something irrational. And there is an update, but what does OP do?
I mean, if you hear her side of the story, there might be a good reason.
Yeah, she's like,
She
no.
Gave him sloppy toppy.
He was
He got bit by a snake.
It was his last wish. I had to help him. It wasn't my fault.
But what about the other guy? What was his deal?
He was also I was at a hospital. It was kind of a make-a-wish situation. That's really sad. Sorry.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was tortured. Update. I basically left in the morning to take a smoke. My head was still messed up, but reading all the comments on Reddit helped me. I can't remember who, but there was one guy who said the positive thing about all of this is that I found out before I got married, with no children or attachments. I still don't think she cheated other than this night. Nothing I found indicated anything else. I guess she wanted this to be her last night before settling down or something. I literally do not understand that logic at all because you've been in a committed relationship up until that point. Nothing has changed. You're getting a piece of paper that says you're legally tied together financially.
I don't know.
Like, it makes no sense. I honestly don't know, and I don't care. When I was outside taking a smoke about 15 to 20 minutes or something after I left Reddit, she had woken up. She noticed the drinks out and asked me what I had been up to. Basically came to give me a kiss and a hug. I followed through with it, but honestly felt empty doing it. I didn't want to give her any hint of what I knew. She asked me why I had been drinking and why I didn't come to sleep last night. I told her I was just having some nightmares, but everything was fine. I felt detached, like I was watching myself in third person through a TV or something. She asked me if any stress was related to the marriage and the plans. I just told her something along the lines of, you know I love you. There's no stress I have for the marriage. Yeah, he's not stressed anymore because there's not going to be a marriage.
He already knows what he's going to do.
How can you be stressed about the best thing in your life? She got herself done and left for work. I basically started packing my most important things, my desktop, computer, most clothes, and some other things. I planned on leaving things like furniture, TV, and other things I really don't care about more than getting the F out. I just took the stuff most important to me so that I don't have to return here again. I don't care if she gets the rest. All in all, my stuff added up to about 3 or 4 suitcases. I would say desktop not included in this. I called and canceled the venue we were supposed to have the wedding at. So he's doing your route of just canceling everything and booking it.
Yep.
But not booking the venue. He's canceling the venue. Apparently, they take 15% of the money for canceling so early on because we were having such a big event. I told them it's fine and I really don't care at this point. I also saved screenshots of everything and had taken them with me.
Good.
Rough. Around 1 p.m., I called a taxi and went to stay at a hotel around 100 kilometers from my city. I didn't leave any note or pictures at home. I just left. I'm planning on leaving to stay with a really, really close friend who lives in a town about 300 kilometers away, but I just needed the alone time in the hotel for some time to think everything through and process what's happened. Around 3:30 p.m., my phone started getting spammed with calls from my ex-fiance. Around 3:50, I started getting calls and messages from her sister, her friends, her parents, my parents, and a few of our mutual friends. The only people I called back were my mom and dad. I have huge trust in my parents. I basically spilled the beans and told them a nicer story about what happened. I asked my dad not to say anything and also asked my mom not to either. I told them it's ended and that I won't be getting married anymore. I also told them not to tell anyone about what I told them. I trust them a lot, so I'm sure they won't say anything.
See,
at least you got your support system.
you have a support system. I understand why he's taking this route of
Yeah.
no
Talking to her.
closure. Because she would get closure from this or something. He's already got his closure.
Yeah, he already knows.
He knows what's going on.
Fair.
It won't help him in the slightest because if he does confront her,
She could try and justify it and lie and stuff.
or he could get mad.
True.
I just think it's best if you have that kind of hatred or
That's true. He did say earlier, he was like, I have this aggression and I don't, if you know that you have that aggression, don't, do what keeps everyone safe.
I think that's good. Maybe one day he may come to the conclusion.
Yeah, when he's less emotionally in it.
Yeah, that he can
Yeah.
talk to her, understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Right now, flee the scene.
That's fair. I didn't tell them exactly what happened, just that I found out she wasn't being loyal to me. I didn't think giving details would help in any way. Around 5 p.m., my dad called me back and told me my ex-fiance was completely hysterical and had basically broken down, completely not understanding what was going on. I just told my dad not to intervene and that I need some alone time now. I basically just shut my phone down and have been staying silent ever since, like a ghost. Been sleeping for a little, went to the pool here at the hotel, and I've just been taking it easy. I don't know if I should respond to them now or wait some more. Her sister knew about what happened at the bachelorette party. I have the text to prove it. She even laughed about it and told her not to feel guilty because it's her bachelorette and that women should go all in on this night. I am seriously considering replying to the sister with just an image of the conversation where she's talking about it. Once again, thank you to everyone who replied. I'll update this post 1 or 2 more times and then perhaps go silent for a while. I know you're only allowed to do 1 update, blah, blah, blah. Edit 1. Since I still get messages asking what happened, yes, I did send proof to her sister, the part where the sister is talking about it. I have since not received any call or messages from the sister. My phone is still blowing up with calls and messages from the ex-fiance. Haven't read them though. Thinking of answering or something, but I don't know what to say or do. Might make another post later today so I can update you with what happened. And comment 1.
I like this.
There are
He's
some
getting
comments.
Alone time, chill time.
Yeah, he's at the hotel relaxing. It seems like probably the fiance knows now why he's left.
Maybe he didn't tell her or
Well, he
send
told the
her-
sister.
Told the sister, but the sister shut up right after that.
But she might have. I feel like there is a chance that she was like, I can't say anything but to him anymore because I don't have the moral high ground. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go tell his ex-fiance this news, so
That
she knows
knows.
why.
I don't know why, but I doubt that
Mhm.
she told him. For some reason, I don't think that.
Yeah. I think Opie's doing what's right for him right now. It's taking
Oh,
a
yeah.
minute because I don't remember exactly how many years it said they were together, but they're about to get married,
No.
so
Yeah,
definitely
they didn't say
serious
that.
relationship.
I
yeah.
think he's 31 and she's 30 from the original
Yeah,
title.
yeah.
Yeah.
Comment 1. This is the point at which you need to keep your resolution with you. These kind of cheaters can get so manipulative, you could easily say, that's some CGI crap from Hollywood, until seeing it with your own eyes. Prepare for waterworks, her dad intervening and seemingly taking sides with you. Her mom calling and claiming it was a one-time mistake. Threats of self-harm, some crap you had said X months ago that ended up with you two fighting, the whole bit. Someone will even use your stubbornness and try to paint you as the bad guy who won't budge. Just wait and see, and don't forget to remember this comment on the way as you encounter them one by one. And there is an update.
That comment called everything.
Yeah, the comment was like, I know exactly what's coming. And stop by and let me know if it happens.
He's like the old man beside a tree near
Yeah.
a path. He's like,
Nostradamus telling.
I've been here before.
Yeah. Update 2. Yesterday, I was having my phone spammed by my family members from her side and friends. The only person I responded to was the sister, with part of the conversation where she and the sister talk about it all. I didn't include anything in the response except an image of the conversation, and the sister went pretty silent after that until later. During the day, I contacted the co-owner of my business and let him know the full story. Oh, he told me to take as much time as I needed and even advised me to head off on a vacation.
Nice.
This guy is a childhood friend of mine. I don't trust anyone as much as him. That makes more sense. My plans have changed a bit. I am still staying at this hotel for another few days, but then perhaps moving on to the friend I was supposed to go to. I called him up and let him know I want to head off somewhere. Perhaps a trip to somewhere nice, another country or something. It's all still not yet 100% decided, but I know I will be leaving for somewhere. He said he would be up for joining me if it could be during the upcoming weeks since he's still on holiday from his work. We will see how that turns out. Later in the day, I responded to my wife. The calls kept coming in less frequently since I sent that message to her sister. I had this gut feeling she was going to come with an excuse of some sort. I picked up the phone, and the first thing I hear is a torn up voice, if you can say that in English. I could hear she had been crying all day and was in a messed up state. She kept begging me to come back, saying there's an explanation to everything and that she loves me. She said I had misunderstood the entire situation. She's like, you don't understand. I had to.
They were on the list.
They're on the list.
They were the next two guys. I had 2 for 1.
It's like a kidney transplant. They were the next on the list.
You should have been proud of me.
I was a donor. I could hear the sister and someone else in the background. Don't know who the other person was, maybe her friend. Anyway, I told her to explain it to me right then and there. She said because I'd only seen a small part of the conversation, it's all been misunderstood, that I should come back home, that she loves me, and that I've taken an irrational decision to leave without a real reason. We literally know she's lying because the sister immediately stopped talking to him when she got that text.
Yeah, because when you catch someone in a lie and they keep calling, like, I didn't do that, I didn't do it. You catch them?
Yeah, they immediately shut up. If she actually hadn't done it, she'd been like, no, like, this is what that meant.
Just like crickets.
Yeah.
They chirp,
Get
chirp.
real quiet when you sneak up on them.
Mm-hmm.
During the entire conversation, I was just given really short, empty answers in a cold way like, yeah, okay, what? Explain it to me. After she told me it's all a misunderstanding, I told her to call me back in 10 minutes and to check Messenger. After I hung up, I sent her the entire conversation log with a ton of screenshots, not all of them, but most of the important ones. It didn't take 2 minutes for her to call back, crying hysterically, saying sorry for everything, saying she wants to pass away rather than lose me. She said she was forced by her friends and sister to have fun one last time. They forced me to have fun. I didn't want to. What does that mean?
Go out and,
Yeah.
I don't know, play Scrabble or
Literally,
something.
go to a board game bar.
Yeah, trivia night.
Trivia night.
Bowling.
Karaoke.
Ooh, kayaking.
Kayaking at night.
Yeah.
That she needed to let all the energy out before stepping into a marriage for life. I was just quiet during most of it. The more I didn't talk and just said, okay, the more she was crying. She started telling me I can have other women if I want to get back at her, or that she'll tell everyone about what she did so I can take her back, that she'll do anything it takes for me to come back, and that this was the mistake of her life and that she hates her sister and friends for this. I told her effing other women was not something I needed because the moment I met her and started loving her, she was the only woman I needed. I didn't need to meet or sleep with someone to know the best thing in my life was waiting at home. The sister was telling her stuff in the background, but I couldn't hear. I don't know what the sister was telling her or if she was getting angry at her or something. She kept begging me, and I just told her, if she comes clean to her parents and family, I'll think about it. No,
We've
he
seen
won't.
this one before, guys.
No, he won't. He's like talking to the freaking mouse. He's like, oh, if you just step into the trap, you'll get the cheese.
There is no cheese.
There's no cheese, man. After that, she started saying something, but I just hung up. For like half an hour, my phone went silent without much response. And then her father called me up and apologized for everything. He and his wife know what happened now, and he's sorry for all of this. He told me he understands how I feel, that he didn't raise his daughter to do this. I mean, both of his daughters think this way. So like, who did, you know?
Yeah.
Literally both of them are on the same page about like cheating before you get married. So is it the mom saying this, or did they just figure this out on their own?
Ooh.
He said he understands if I don't want to see her again, but that I'll always be welcome to him and that I'm a good guy. His wife basically then takes or steals the phone from him and tells me she made a mistake and she regrets it and it will never happen again and that we can move forward from this. She tells me her daughter has never been this destroyed before. I politely tell her I appreciate her opinion, and then I say I have to go and say goodbye.
Dude, that comment was right again.
Yeah.
The
Well, I'm
mom saying
super
it's just a one-time mistake.
I'm suspicious of that mom. I'm like, what was her bachelorette party like? I feel like if she's excusing this behavior, because the dad's not excusing it. He's like, okay, like, I understand if you need to go. And the mom's like, no. It's like, it's a mistake. It was a mistake. And the sister's like, oh, no, you can do that. You can cheat on your partner the day before. And OP's ex-fiance is like, if they're all thinking that way,
You know why they're thinking that way?
apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Pineapple doesn't fall
They're
far from the
swingers.
tree. Yes. That's what I was about to say.
Yes. My ex-fiance calls me back and begs me again, saying she told her parents and also sent a text message to her friends, our mutual friends, about what had happened. She then keeps crying, asking me when will I come back to speak with her, and says we can even go to counseling and that she'll pay for everything.
Let's go.
Why don't you pay for all the wedding costs? She kept apologizing on the phone, and I didn't say much. After some time, I just told her not to cry, that she shouldn't be apologizing because single women, like herself, are allowed to do these things, and I hope she finds Mr. Right. Ooh. He's like... She starts crying even harder, and her sister takes the phone and says sorry and tells me everything can be fixed, and that I said I would take her back now that she told everyone what she did. I told the sister I only said I'd think about it. And now that I have, I realized I dodged a bullet and wish her and her sister the best. She then tells me her sister's turning to self-harm from all of this. The commenter was right. And that this is going to lead into a depression that can take her life. That seems like you guys got to figure that out. Maybe take her to, I don't know, clinic. If you know about it, you can protect your sister.
Start volunteering. I hear that helps a lot of people.
Yeah. The only thing I said after she told me that was, it's a good thing you're close to her so you can make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Maybe take her to a doctor or something. Yep. After this, I just hung up. My phone has been blowing up with messages from mutual friends, her and her sister saying sorry and basically begging me to come back. I don't plan on responding. I honestly feel a lot better right now, like I can move on. I will be going for a vacation this upcoming week, I think. If something more happens, I will update the posts. I don't know when I'll feel okay to start dating or meeting women again. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
Let's give it a minute.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, of course not.
Because he about got married, and for some people, it's like, wife, check. That's like a check mark.
Yeah,
Check
and
box
now
in
he's
their life.
like,
It's unchecked
totally,
now.
yeah. It's totally his whole kind of life path has been thrown off. But like, you just give it a minute.
It's okay.
No rush. But we will see. Thanks. And you guys can see more full episode stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I like the step-by-step how he's approaching this.
Yeah.
We need to make, like, you know those charts where it's like, do you want to invite this person to your birthday party? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And then that's sort of the thing I feel here. Like, do you feel angry? Yes. Then leave, and then, step by step of everything. I can't say anything he's done wrong here.
No, I mean,
it's
like,
perfect.
he had the conversation, which is all I wanted.
Okay. Yeah. It's perfect execution.
Had the conversation, didn't listen to her lies, was just like, yeah, okay, hang up. Which I think is, now he knows for a fact that she's a freaking liar.
Freaking liar.
And a bad one.
And then also in an alternate world where you do forgive her and everything, that trust. That trust is so long and broken.
The thing is that we've seen stories where people have cheated and they come back from it, but that requires so much work. I don't think people realize how much work it requires.
Yeah, no.
Like, I want to say this is not an actual statistic, but like I feel like 90% of the people that, cheat, like they maybe try and they just can't get over that trust breach. You just can't.
You can't.
Unless you're, genuinely apologetic, which she's not, because she's blaming it on other people, fully take responsibility, and then work so hard. And that's on both sides. Both people have to work hard to get back to that place where they can trust each other.
What if the wife wants to go out again?
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be too fond of that idea.
Like, this is not, you can't get back from this.
And then she's going to get, resentment towards the husband because he won't let her out. And it'll just be,
it's like, there's no point. It's like he knows he can't trust her again, so there's no point in getting back together. She wouldn't like it. Edit 1. I would also like to add my best friend, co-owner of my company, hired someone to take care of the company for us and also booked a month-long vacation for the both of us. Sick. That's a good friend. I'm lucky to have such a good person in my life, and I hope you all are able to find a friend like this. I would do the same for him. He's been a friend since we were kids, and if I lost all of the people I know, he would be there for me, so big thanks to him. Edit 2, my friend went over to get the ring from her, but she refused to give it to him and told me she would not give it to anyone, that I have to pick it by myself. I don't know why she's still acting like this. I'm thinking of just letting the ring go and being able to have a clear mind. And that is the end of that story.
Oh.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, honestly, get rid of that ring.
Can't really resell it for that much, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, diamond rings, they don't.
That sucks.
I know. Because, the whole, like, diamond farm. There's, like, a big diamond farm, and they release so much each year.
It's true.
Which is smart on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, props to them. But it just sucks for diamond buyers. But anyways, selling entrepreneurship aside, good luck, man.
Yeah, that's tough. You're going to get through this.
You will. My brother got his mistress pregnant, so I cut him all off.
Yeah, get him out of your life.
Trigger warning, childhood abuse. So, okay, some background. My brother, 35 male, is the favorite child. My mother, 55 female, always took more photos of him, always went to his games, plays, events, etc., but never any others. If he got in trouble for anything, for example, fighting at school and getting suspended, his punishment never lasted more than an hour. Meanwhile, I, 31 female, would be screamed at and cussed at if I even much as breathed the wrong way. By the way, this comes from Physical Ad 23, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So he's been married to his wife, 35 female, for 18 years. I love my sister-in-law more than anything. She's sweet, funny, kind, always the first to help when you're in need. Her biggest downside has always been that she isn't very money smart, but my brother is and thought they worked well together when it came to balancing each other. They bought a house, got a dog, and were trying to have a baby, all while still saving a significant amount. My brother says they started fighting a lot because he wanted to save money and do IVF, but my sister-in-law really wanted a baby without all that. Admittedly, while they never struggled to get pregnant, their babies were never healthy enough to survive after birth, and her last 3 pregnancies ended in infant loss. Well, he got her pregnant again anyways, and the baby is perfectly healthy. The day she told my brother she is pregnant, he asked for a divorce and confessed he cheated with a coworker, 23 female.
Oh, what a brutal start. What a brutal start. Oh.
Goodness gracious. The biggest reason why I'm so angry about this isn't because of how much love I have for my sister-in-law, but more so because my brother claims that he didn't know he even wanted a divorce until he cheated on his wife and realized he didn't feel guilty about it. But he also has confessed to our mother that he actively pursued a relationship with this coworker. His coworker is also very aware that he's married and even met his wife. In fact, she regularly shops at the store my sister-in-law works at and had made it a point to approach her at work prior to my sister-in-law finding out about the affair. Now, on to what caused me to cut off my family. I went to visit my sister-in-law for the first time in a while. She's giving me a coffee table as her and my brother are selling their house. They're not divorcing. My brother will not file, but I decided I would also visit with her just to see how she was doing, check on her pregnancy, and just all around make sure that she's okay. Towards the end of my visit, my brother and my mom both started calling me excessively, texting me that I had to call them back right away and that I hadn't even left her house yet. Once I got in the car and started driving away, my brother and mother started calling again, several times, back to back, and we finally answered. And that's when they started getting angry at me. Apparently, my sister-in-law told my brother she didn't want to go shopping after their 20-week appointment the next day. My brother thought it was my fault. My sister-in-law does not know that my brother's mistress is pregnant and they're only 4 weeks apart. He assumed I told her, and when I responded that I had not told her anything, he called me a liar and screamed and cursed at me. I ended up yelling back and told him to go F himself. My mom called me immediately after and demanded to know what I told sister-in-law. And when I told her the same thing I told my brother, she too called me a liar and yelled at me.
Oh my goodness.
The wife doesn't know, right? Wait. I think she knows about the cheating.
Yeah.
Not about the pregnancy.
Yeah, I think that's what that was saying.
And they're still together?
Well, I'm confused because he was the one who was like, I want a divorce. And then
He's not filing.
now he's not filing for it. Maybe he's realizing like, oh, I can't be with a 23-year-old. I don't know.
Wait. Actually, I like the part where I'm cheating on you.
He's like,
that's what I like.
I've thought about it, and honestly, it wouldn't be as fun to cheat on you and not feel bad about it if I weren't in a relationship with you. Because then I would have to cheat on that girl, and it just doesn't make sense.
It's just I just can't keep doing the cycle.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stay with this.
Terrible person.
I ended up blocking them both. My mother also got angry that she couldn't get a hold of me. She demanded I get my own insurance on my car. She bought it for me and is the only person on the title. It is still being financed by this dealership. I pay the car payment directly and send her money for the insurance. And I add her back to Life 360 so she knew where her car was at all times. She told me that my boyfriend, 30 male, is not allowed to drive it. He doesn't unless I'm with him in the car. She texted my boyfriend of all that since she couldn't get a hold of me. I ended up taking the car to her house and dropped it off with keys. I told her to do with it what she wants since she wanted to know where it was at all times. She ended up texting my boyfriend that we are both pieces of crap and never to contact her again.
That's pretty easy.
This was after I unblocked her long enough to text her that I would still make the payments, but since she wanted to know where the car was, she could have it. I made a promise to pay it and intended to keep that promise, but now I don't think I should. This whole time my mother has been hosting my brother's mistress at her house after my brother moved in with her, and she keeps protecting him as much as she can. Dude, this mom and brother are
terrible.
Ride or
This, oh my goodness. Like, this is like, this mother-son relationship is too deeply entrenched. Like, disgusting. Disgusting. Like, how can you think it's okay to raise your children, specifically your son, to act like this?
Dude, I'm
and then
appalled. Yeah.
You suck.
Wow. Oh, gets even better. She even gaslights my sister-in-law to make her think the divorce and affair was her fault. Cherry on top. And she tries to blame me for my brother and sister-in-law fighting. I'm so tempted to go nuclear. With everything going on, I could get my brother, mother, and the mistress fired from their jobs and could even get my parents evicted from their home since they live in a 55-plus community and my brother is not on the lease. His staying there goes against their lease agreement and they could be evicted if the landlords or property management company finds out. I will get them evicted or my mom fired, but I wonder if my brother and his mistress should suffer consequences, especially since my brother is the mistress direct supervisor.
Ooh, yikes. Big old yikes.
Honestly, a little ultimatum.
Yeah.
Go a long way, collect some evidence, get nice little folders put together.
Blackmail him.
Yeah, blackmail him. Be like, if you do not
treat your wife.
She thinks very highly of the sister-in-law. If you do not take care of her and do these things.
And sign those divorce papers.
Yep. And give her the house, I will do X, Y, Z. and ruin you.
This is new. This is
I'm
new.
down for
Yeah.
I know we shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but brother, having no guilt.
I'm not against. I just think it should be in the hands of the wife. That's my position.
All the things his wife has gone through.
I know,
too.
it sucks. And she's pregnant. After
Give-
like all of these, losses, she's
Wait.
finally pregnant.
Build. Give the wife the
Exactly.
boom.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Solved.
Okay. I wonder if I am the a-hole for cutting everyone out except my sister-in-law off. After all this, I try to stay neutral for as long as I could because my sister-in-law didn't want to cause fighting, but I can't bring myself to stay quiet anymore. My mother and brother think I'm pretty much evil at this point because I won't protect my brother anymore. I also wonder if I would be the a-hole if I told my sister-in-law about the mistress being pregnant and regularly staying with my brother at his mom's house. I know she would be angry enough to get a lawyer involved, and I would 100% support her. So Reddit, what do you think? Am I the a-hole? Should I tell my sister-in-law? Should I go? Edit, I just realized from a comment that they were married for 18 years, but they have been together for 18 years, and they started dating at 16 and 17 in high school. I'm sorry for not seeing that. Update. I will be meeting with my sister-in-law tomorrow to tell her everything. I really feel like this should be in person. I would hate this kind of news delivered over a call or text, and I want her to know I will support her whatever decision she makes 100%. I also have decided I will not be paying my mother another cent and cutting the cord cold turkey on the car. Thank you so much to those who gave great advice. I will make sure my sister-in-law is okay and safe before I do anything more. I will update you after my meetup. And we got the meetup.
Let's freaking get into this update.
Update. I really don't know how to update these things. Anyways, long story short, I did not tell my sister-in-law.
What? Girl.
When my boyfriend and I got to her house, she wasn't there. We thought she was just at the market, so we hung out for a bit. But after around 30-ish minutes, my oldest brother, 38 male, not sister-in-law's husband, drove up in sister-in-law's car. Then my older brother drove up behind him in his truck with sister-in-law in the truck. He was bringing her from the hospital. When I spoke to her today, she told me what happened. While out walking her dog Friday evening, another dog came up and started attacking her dog. She has a 3-year-old husky. While trying to break up the dogs to get away, she hurt her stomach.
No.
Oh no, she was worried about the baby and went to the hospital the next day since she was in a lot of pain. Good thing is she only pulled a muscle and the baby is healthy.
Oh my goodness. That was so scary.
Oh man.
I was like, oh no.
So when my boyfriend and I got there, she had been given some meds and was loopy and tired. So we dropped off the pasta I made for her and let her rest. Also, neither of my brothers wanted to talk to me or my boyfriend and would barely look at us. So I know my mom has my older brother turned against me. He's cut me off as well, so I don't get to see my niece anymore. But that's all for now. I'm going to try to see her again when she feels a bit better. I'm really worried about stressing her out too much when she's already not feeling well. I'll update again if anything's happened. Oh.
Dang, man. Well, this is actually a good point because, a lot of stress isn't good for the baby as well. Either.
Yeah, true.
And we already know that she has like a medical history that's not, great. So I do understand why OP's like, I don't want to tell her right now when she just had this like
traumatic thing happen.
Yeah, close call. But I don't know. Now I'm like, I don't know. I guess maybe talk to a doctor and be like, hey, I have this information that I need to share with her, but it's very stressful. Do you think that's okay for her to hear or should I wait? Yeah. Because she needs to know, but also you don't want to do anything that puts the baby in harm's way.
Update 2. Oh boy. I know you guys have been bugging for an update and it's been absolutely insane. I'm at a loss to what to do now. So long story short, my sister-in-law found out before I told her. I knew my brother was out on dates with his mistress out in the open, but I didn't realize where exactly. This moron was out with his mistress in the same town my sister-in-law's sister lives, with her husband and kids. They saw this moron out with her and told my sister-in-law. Of course, I didn't know about any of this when it happened. I found out when I went over to visit her last week. Simply went like this. I'm going to be blunt. I need you to not freak out until I'm done. You can scream and cry and all that, and I will be here. But listen, we got to get your ducks in a row before you retaliate. Mistress is pregnant. From what I know, you guys are like 4 weeks apart. Sister-in-law says, I know. My sister told me.
Oh.
Guys, this woman went to my mother's house and saw the mistress car there
Oh.
and knew everything from that point forward. I wondered why she was so quiet for a couple of days after her hospital visit, And it was because she got into a fight with my family and told them none of them would ever see her baby. And they were uninvited to the baby shower, no more doctor's appointments with my brother, etc. She was an absolute boss. And of course, my brother blamed me. Even after my sister-in-law told him it was her own family that saw them out and noticed the pregnant mistress. I got pestered by my mother over email. I didn't bother responding except to tell her that if she contacted me again, she would be hearing from a lawyer. My sister-in-law is going full scorched earth, and I love it. I'm helping her find a good lawyer while researching laws in our state regarding custody and separation of assets and stuff. It's a lot to read and sometimes hard to understand, but it's been enlightening to say the least. We also reported my brother's conduct and my mother's pesterment to their respective HR departments. So far, it doesn't look like anything has been done. I couldn't get in contact with my mother's landlord either since they used a property management company, so I sent the property managers an email. I haven't heard back from that so far. You ever hear about Storytime being on your favorite podcast platform?
Like what?
Like Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify. All you gotta do is look up Storytime for more insane
No
stories.
way.
Just like this, and you can hear them all.
Oh,
Wherever,
man.
whenever.
Stories like this?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're your favorite, Sophia.
Oh,
Come
that was
on.
rough.
You like a good cheating story.
I love a good cheat. You know me. I'm always saying that. Wow. I mean, she knows.
She already had the ready to go.
Yeah, she was like, don't worry. I had my finger on the button this whole time. I just needed a second finger on the other button because I think that's how it works.
Dude, you know what Carly's line in Lilo and Stitch is?
What?
Fingers always on the button, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's OP's sister-in-law.
that's her
Well,
sister-in-law. She's
Yours,
Carly.
yeah, exactly. Your sister-in-law seemingly wants you still in her life, so nice. You get access to your niece. No one else does. It super sucks that she's going through this and that, you have to deal with your family, but it seems like your family's always sucked, so.
Yikes. Unfortunately for me, though, my job was put in danger. I've been on a lot of stress. I've been on stress leave because of this whole fiasco.
Ugh.
And I got a call from my admin HR. According to them, my mother had issued a complaint about me. I had to go forward with the emails and screenshots of the text I was getting to keep my job. So I will also be going to see a lawyer next week to send my family cease and desist notice. And as much as I love my sister-in-law, I know that as long as I stay close to her, my family will continue to come after me. So my boyfriend and I have decided to leave the state. I will continue to have contact with her, and she has already promised to fly out and visit us regularly, but she will keep at arm's length for the most part. I feel like I'm abandoning her, but my mental health is taking a huge toll from all the drama. So far, the plan is to take a road trip to our state of choice this September, if we can afford it, and do some preemptive apartment shopping with our dog. Then hopefully we will be moving there next year in the summer. We're going to sell all of our stuff and take only what we can fit in our car. We're also eloping this summer, so that takes away all the stress, and I'm not wedding planning anymore. Sister-in-law will be our only witness. But guys, that's the end of that story.